I'm up in Michigan, and I guess we can see that Detroit's written down here. That's where all of the population is, down in the corner. I'm way up in the opposite direction with a resort area up in northern Michigan where everybody comes to play, and I get to live here. It's a great place. We love it here. I wanted to open up possibilities. Limits and obstacles drive me crazy. And so when I found a process that was easier and better and more efficient, then I was on it. And so the tools that I create and the tools that I use and the methods that I use have a heavy dose of safety in them, and to do it the safest way possible. Okay, this is an old photo of one of my ancient long gone Christmas ornaments. Don't even know what kind of wood this is. This could be a spalted maple, or could it be an elm? I don't know what that is, but the finial is probably a maple or a boxwood of some kind, a light wood, maybe pear, birch, something like that. Not sure. But if you see the shapes going on here, they're rather large. There's nothing very small and delicate about it. And the lines are kind of clean and not a lot of detail. It comes down to a ball here and not a point. Okay, so all of these elements is making it rather strong and rather what non-detailed, no sharp points or corners, is on purpose because this is a usable Christmas ornament. This is one that's going to be used every year. It's going to be on a tree. It could fall off the tree. It's going to be put in a box with a dozen or 100 other ornaments and all falling together and everything. You don't want this to break, and you don't want to, as you're maneuvering with it, you don't want a point there that's going to stick in somebody's hand and hurt somebody, especially a kid or something that might be playing with them, and all of a sudden that point could be a weapon. So making these soft lines is on purpose because it's a functional Christmas ornament. I intend to use it to put it on the tree every year. And I've made them for all of our relatives all over the country. But this is very much unlike Cindy's Christmas ornaments. Cindy Droz is one of the famous turners that's known for her finials, and she does such delicate work that it's just mind-blowing what she can do with the tools, the detail that she can put in things. And she leaves very, very small, slender stems and very tight detail, crisp lines, and very long, pointy end that's, I mean, smaller than a straight pin, the diameter of those when she gets done. I mean, if you really want to take a good look at Cindy's finials, you have to use magnifying glasses. You really can't appreciate the detail with just normal vision. The detail is so precise. But she uses different tools and different methods to do that with than I'm going to do here. And it's for a different purpose. I'm making this functional on purpose. So the cap now, if we use our existing one, okay, there wouldn't really be any difference in grain or color orientation of which end is up. So I think I'm going to make the large diameter for the cap and the smaller diameter, or whatever I want the diameter, for the bottom. So my ornament is going to be in this orientation with the large hole up and the small hole down. And so that's kind of my reasoning. So this is going to be relatively easy to do as far as spending time with detail and small tools.
Lyle,
Yes.
what species are best for making the finials?
Hardwood, the harder the wood and the tighter the grain it is, something like blackwood or ebony. If you're doing a black one, something like ironwood or something that's real hard and fine grain. Maple is okay. It's a fine grain wood. It doesn't have any pores that you can visibly see, so it'll take detail really nicely, and that's what I'm using here. And it's a kind of a white wood. It's got a little bit of a brown color to it, but it depends on your contrast of your globe. What color the globe is can dictate what you're going to make your finial out of. And this elm, I guess I don't have it finished or any here that are finished, but this elm is going to turn quite a bit darker than this. So that dark brown, kind of medium brown, it's not as dark as walnut, but it's going to be a brown color, is going to contrast to the white finial. All right, so the white finial will have some contrast in it. Okay. So it's a matter of contrast. Depends on what this is. You make your finial a different color if you can. I've done cherry burl and other things where I've used a cherry finial where it's all the same kind of wood, and that works okay. Nothing wrong with that. It's just you have to try it and see if you like it. If you want to make contrast or no contrast, there's no right and wrong there. It's just your own creative license to use any kind of wood that you want. But finer grain, you can't use something like ash or even elm is a pretty porous grain. Have a hard time doing a finial out of elm. Something like oak and ash would not be good for a finial because of the pores are too broad. Even walnut would be a little bit porous to do a finial out of. You could probably do one of my finials, the clunky ones, with walnut, but not one of Cindy's finials wouldn't work with walnut probably. You'd need a finer wood like blackwood or ebony or something like that. Okay, good question. Thank you. It's kind of whatever you got around in the shop and whether you want a contrast or not, and use the stuff you've got. So many different ways to go, and that's the fun part of turning, that you have a lot of creativity, and there's very seldom a right and a wrong. There's different things for different purposes, and if you take it to the place that looks good to you, and you spend some time, you take your time, and you whatever better word, to analyze each element and how they relate to the other elements, and really take your time and think it through, and give some effort and passion into it. Other people are going to love it. They're going to be drawn to it, and just you don't know why, but their eyes get wide and they say, "Wow, that's cool," because you've invested some time and energy in it. You put your design aesthetics into it. What looks good to you and what looks good to me are two different things, and that's quite okay and quite normal. So go with the flow of what pleases you and what's fun. And that's, I guess, I don't know how many women we have in the group here, but us men especially, going to be stereotype here a little bit, but us men especially, we don't stop and ask, what do we like? You know, we wear a lot of hats and we please a lot of people around us, but how often do we just stop and say, what pleases me? What floats my boat? What am I passionate about? And if we can add some of that energy into our turning, then we can really start to have some fun, and then other people are going to be drawn to it. It's really going to be special work. So bring yourself into the shop with you. Promote it on your social media, if you will, and pass the good word that we're doing the job up here, and we'll see you in a few weeks.